what's going on, guys? Jetxc here, and I finally got Nita. I went through the puzzle. Puzzle was nice. Overall, I will say with the puzzle, I did skip a few parts because I thought it was getting a little bit too yappy, but the middle towards the end was definitely very nice. For those of you that want a little bit of background between Nita and the relationship with us and Nita, basically, as adjutant, I think it's a very nice thing to do. Overall, it was a little bit long, but I could see what they were going for with this entire thing, and it was nice, right? So I don't really have too much bad to say about it. Now, I got Nita, I got her costume, and I got the interaction. I think her default design is great. I think this costume is great. The interaction, personally, I thought was okay, but compared to the other interactions, I think this one's a little bit lackluster. You kind of just go around in the interaction just like playing around with Nita. That's about it. Not really too lewd. It's more kind of wholesome in my opinion. But again, I think it's still overall really high quality. So I'm not complaining too much. But yeah, so let's kind of get into Nita overall. So I raised her to level 80. I got basic logistics on her that essentially just buff skill damage. I didn't level up the logistics at all. They're just 0, 0, 0, but they give you the buff to the skill damage. And then her weapon is still level 1. So on extremely hard content, I don't do much damage, but on everything else, like all the farming content at max level, I clear it very, very easily. And I'll say this, when we get her with her tier 2 weapon, herself M5, and her logistics, she's going to be pretty busted, I think. We'll really have to see. I think she's very simple to play. And as new players come in, right, during this whole event, I think this will be something that, you know, they will enjoy because you don't necessarily have to shoot to take out enemies. You just run around and go pressing your standard skill. Now, let's get into how to use her because I think there's some interesting aspects for Nita Pulse. So, to put it very, very simply, your standard skill jolts you up in the air and you do consecutive combos, right? And for each combo you have to line up the bar with the the line with the blue bar that is on your screen, and you'll see me do it in the video here. All you're doing is looking at that, and you want to hit standard skill again when it passes on that bar. When you do that, it'll go to the next phase, and then you'll do 5, and then the final attack is like it's basically her sear combo attack, which does extra damage at the end of the combo, right? Pretty much it. I want to keep this like very simple because we'll go more in depth when she actually comes out. And then you have your ult. Now what your ult does is it takes 99% of your health and it does a crazy thermal damage attack. Huge AoE, and it's pretty cool, right? Now, I also got her neuronics leveled up. There is one neuronic that allows you to, every time you do your ult, it will give you a shield, and that shield will help you live for a little bit until you heal with your thermal weapon or logistics, which we don't have yet, right? So Nita basically needs a lot of HP, which, again, her logistics and weapon will help with that. But all you really got to do is just jump in and do consecutive combos. Now, if you continue to miss your combos, you will overheat, and overheat will take you out of your it's called the Bhairava state. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it'll take you out of your combo state, and you'll lose like 10% of health, right? So you just want to make sure that you don't miss like maybe 2 or 3 of them. If you miss 1, that's still okay, right? So that's all you really have to do. Now, here's the thing. I think a lot of people are going to feel a little bit weird about her kit because you really don't even have to, you really don't have to finish a combo for a lot of the content that you do. For a lot of the fodder that you go up against, all you really need to do is just jump and then maybe hit the combo once, and that's it. Maybe you have to hit it 3 times, and they'll all just fall down. So I think a lot of people are going to get stuck in the whole, oh, I got to finish the combo, oh, I got to finish the combo, right? Because they're trying to pay attention to the bar on the screen, but they're not paying attention to the enemies, and they'll realize, oh, wait, the enemies are already dead. What am I doing, right? So keep in mind, once we get all of our stuff, you really might not have to finish these combos. I think when you're facing a boss, that's when it'll really matter. But other than that, I mean, I'm going through like some regular content, and I don't even need to finish the entire combo to beat everybody. And also too, while you're in the combo, you can kind of turn around, and you can also perform a dodge in the combo, right? So let's say you combo twice and then you want to dodge, it will dash you forward, and it won't the number won't go up, it'll stay the same, and it will allow you to then try again and line up the line with the bar on the screen, right? And yeah, you'll obviously see that there's a number there, and if it lines up perfectly, then you'll get like the there won't be any penalties or anything like that. You'll still be able to get out your last combo, which is the sear attack, which is the uppercut. But again, if you get over that number, you're overheating, right? So pretty simple, but I think those are just a couple things people are going to have to keep in mind when she does come out. For those of you that may not be good at keeping up with that little bar graph or that bar and the line, she may not be the best unit for you. You may want to just stick to Nidita, because she can just run around and you just literally just watch yourself do a bunch of damage, and then you ult, and then you repeat, right? So she's even more simpler than Nita, I would say. But Nita does seem fun, and she is, right? Yeah, other than that, guys, I didn't find out who she'd best be paired up with. I think I'm gonna wait until May 1st, but obviously I still think like Acacia is somebody that would go well with her. So that's the only person I have in mind for now. But again, I want to wait until we get all of her stuff, because once we have everything and it's maxed out, I think she could just solo shit by herself, honestly. It won't even matter who you really put. But of course, if you're trying to do really in-game content, then we'll have to figure it out then. So that's really about it. Overall, I like her design. I think her design is well made, 10 out of 10, and her skin is definitely worth it. Even her interaction, even though it was a little bit lackluster for me, it was still solid overall. So let me know what you guys think of Nita Pulse here. And we have a couple weeks until we actually get her on May 1st, so that'll be exciting. But if you're a new player or someone that wants to get into the game, you will get a free maxed out unit, logistics, and tier 2 weapon when she comes out. But yeah, she is extremely fun, and I've got nothing but good things to say about her. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. Later.